Good morning, and we are live. Man, I'm excited about this today. We got so much to talk about. There's breaking news that's going on, just stuff that's going on right now as we speak. Bill Clinton's testimony into what he knows about Jeffrey Epstein in his deposition before Congress is just starting. Keep your social media alerts going because you never know, it could go off the rails like it did yesterday. I won't be able to follow it because, hey, I'm doing a show. Speaking of which, let's get into it. This is happening right now. A little bit of breaking news from the other side of the world. War has broken out between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Yeah, that's really happened. There has been long growing tension. We've actually talked about it in a previous show. The Pakistani Taliban, which is a thing. The Taliban is not just in Afghanistan. There's a Pakistani Taliban, has been engaging in terrorist attacks recently. Just recently, a suicide bombing in Islamabad, and Pakistan has driven them back into Afghanistan and is accusing Afghanistan of giving them safe harbor and training. And it sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sounds familiar. This seems to me a bit like chickens coming home to roost. Everybody's trying to slam the brakes on it, but us, we're too, our government is too damn incompetent to actually be actively involved in anything. So China is taking the lead on this, trying to stop a regional war from breaking out on their southwestern border. But yeah, that's going on right now. I mean, and it's a real deal. Pakistan has hit both Kabul and Kandahar. They hit Kabul, several military targets in Kabul. This was an ammunition depot. This picture is courtesy of the New York Times. I want to give them credit. Don't just take somebody's work. This is from the New York Times. They've got a great article on what's going on there and why. It's a deep dive into how long these border clashes have been going on and why Pakistan has just said, look, we have tried. We have talked to the Taliban leadership. That's why they hit Kandahar, by the way, because the current leader of the Afghan Taliban lives in Kandahar. So the strikes were where he could get a good look at them. But yeah, it is craziness. It is craziness going on there. Lot to talk about. E.T., thank you for more people dying in the name of God. I know, it's insane. Bobby, thank you. Thank you for being a member. I'm glad you're here, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Not just that. There's a lot going on around the world right now. Like I said, Bill Clinton is just about to sit down. You folks stay on top of stuff like that during the show. So if anything goes crazy, anything goes off the rails, just please let me know. We're going to talk about Shah Alem here in a little bit. If you don't, Customs and Border Patrol has just been a disgrace. We saw what happened with Renee Good. We saw what happened with Alex Purdy. We've seen what's happened over and over and over again. We're up to 5 people, I believe, that they've just murdered. And there's been no accountability. None whatsoever. No accountability. Looks like it may be different this time. But let's talk about what happened yesterday first. You know, I don't want to get rid of some of these tabs. I got so many damn tabs open. We're going to talk about this first. I'm very proud. Before we get into Hillary Clinton and her testimony, I am very, 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 very proud of my Democrats right now, especially Richard Blumenthal. They have been working with veterans groups like Vote Vets and other veteran advocacy groups to get this stupid frickin' rule overturned, and they have succeeded. The VA is rolling back. They just rolled out a new rule just a few weeks back, and it's the most insane thing you've ever heard of. It's difficult to get disability. It is. It takes a lot of work to get disability. Military disability is no different. It is no different. The Trump regime said, well, you know what? We ought to change the rule on that. And when we look at these disability cases, instead of looking at how disabled they are right now, let's just assume they're getting treatment, and we'll base their disability on what those treatment outcomes should be. That's what I want you to consider when you give someone disability. If someone could be 100% disabled when they're starting their treatment, they're going through the disability process, they're 100% disabled. They wanted the VA to take into consideration not where they are and what they're living through, but they wanted them to consider where they might get to in the future. Insane. Fortunately, the Trump regime folded on that. It's just insanity. It is ridiculousness. It is the stupidest way in the world to treat our veterans. But this is the kind of thing that they're going to do if we do not win the midterms. If we do not absolutely devastate the Republican Party in the midterms, if they, God forbid, hold on to a slim majority in either house, this is the kind of shit that it will be all bets are off. Trump is out in 2028. He doesn't give a shit. He's going to do whatever anybody pays him to do. Their worst instincts, their worst, of everything is going to become reality, folks. It just is. I hope you understand. We have to get this done. We have to get this done. Chandra Patton, thank you for your sanity in the midst of this craziness. No, thank you for being here. You people are the ones that keep me sane. You are the ones that keep me sane. But yeah, this happened yesterday. I'm gonna let Hillary Clinton say it herself. If you're watching the show and you get to this point, and there isn't a video that starts, it just skips over to me talking again. It's because MSNBC hit me with a copyright strike and had my show taken down, and I had to edit out this video because this is MSNBC can get a little pissy. If you play a short clip from MSNBC, they don't really mind. But this clip is 3 minutes long of straight up NBC programming. So yeah, I may get punched in the cooter for this, but I don't know. I don't. We're going to try. I want you to hear Hillary Clinton's words on this because this is just nuts what happened yesterday. Just absolutely nuts what happened yesterday. Our tax money was just absolutely wasted. Anthropic told Hexeth to kick rocks about taking off limits on their AI for spying on Americans. It's a small win, but I'll take it. Jeff, actually, it's worse than that. We're going to actually talk about that on Sunday's show. I'm going to dig in to tell everybody who Anthropic is. It was far worse than that. I want you to think about the Terminator. Think about the Terminator. Those are the kind of weapons the Pentagon is trying to develop using Anthropic's AI. And Anthropic said, no. It wasn't just the spying part of it. It was, they also wanted to use Anthropic's AI in weapons development, search and destroy weapons for Keg Breath, who's already killing people in the Caribbean with people involved in it, wants to be able to just turn a machine loose. That's your target. Go kill. Yeah. It's actually scarier than that. We'll talk about it on Sunday. We'll talk about it on Sunday when I got time to do a deep dive into it. This happened, though. I mean, let's just let Hillary Clinton sum it up for you.
Well, I have just finished testifying. I answered every one of their questions as fully as I could, based on what I knew. And what I knew is what I said in my statement this morning. I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance, but whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond. It was disappointing that they refused to hold a public hearing, so I wouldn't have to be out here characterizing it for you. You could have seen it for yourself. We had asked for that. We think it would have been better for the committee and its efforts to gather whatever information they are seeking. We had a bit of a challenge in the beginning because we had agreed upon rules based on the fact it was going to be a closed hearing at their demand. And one of the members violated that rule, which was very upsetting because it suggested that they might violate other of our agreements. So we had to cease the hearing for a period of time until we could get assurances that no rules would be broken going forward. And we returned to answer questions repetitively, literally over and over again. I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices. So it's on the record numerous times. It then got, at the end, quite unusual because I started being asked about UFOs and a series of questions about Pizzagate, one of the most vile, bogus conspiracy theories that was.
Yeah. That's what they did with our tax money. That's what they did with our tax money. They held a deposition for a woman that's not in the Epstein files, that no one says had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Per her own statement, she knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually, as in they ended up in the same place. She knew who she was. Then they started asking her about Pizzagate. That's what they did with our money. These hearings aren't free, people. They're not free. Pizzagate and UFOs. I am so damn tired of these idiots and the frickin' morons that vote for him. I am telling you, I am just done with these people. Done. ET, instead of saying that Trump is in the Epstein files, start saying that Jeffrey Epstein is in the Trump files. Get involved, people. Let's do it. Amen, brother. Amen. Yeah, that's what they did. And what she was talking about, the brakes got slammed on the meeting early on because of because of this idiot right here. Well, it's a couple idiots, actually. Lauren Boebert has no respect for rules, no respect for she's a freaking moron. She is a freaking moron. She took some pictures during the hearing. It was the Republicans screaming, no press, no nothing. So Boebert took this picture, among others, and this is grainy as hell because Benny Johnson put his watermark all over it and then released it on the internet. Now, I want to call your attention to something. It wasn't the Republicans that caught it. This is how far ahead. This is how much better we are at just everything than the Republicans are. Hillary Clinton's legal team had people watching right-wing bullshit social media. They caught this instantly. And they brought it up. And Comer went into a panic and slammed the brakes on the meeting because nobody knew how bad this was going to be, what exactly had been done. But yeah, this is how much better at just actual governance, when it comes to, trials, when it comes to just legal competence, when it comes to actual just, engage. We are so much better at this than they're freaking morons. They are, because this is the moron, just so you know, the moron, Benny Johnson, just as a reminder, he's the guy here in the middle. It's Dave Rubin on the left and Tim Pool on the right. Tim Pool works in the White House now. He is part of the White House press pool. Yeah. These three right-wing idiot shitposters. And I just want to remind you, back in 2014, Benny Johnson used to work for BuzzFeed. He got fired from BuzzFeed. Because they found 41 of his articles had been plagiarized. 41 of his articles had been plagiarized. Yeah, BuzzFeed had to just turn themselves into knots over satisfying all of the shit that he stole. But it gets better. That picture I showed you, the reason those three asshats were in that picture together is those are the right-wing shit posters that Russia paid. Yeah. It came out that Russia, RT, Russia Today, Putin's television channel, put up a front company and then paid these fuckers. All of that pro-Russia shit that they've all been disseminating, we found out that these guys were getting paid. This is the person that thought it would be a good idea to get involved with that idiot Lauren Boebert and share this shit online during the hearing in which Hillary Clinton just beat the brakes off these Republicans. I mean, it got so stupid they were talking about Pizzagate. If you don't remember what Pizzagate is, a bunch of QAnon freaks on 4chan made up a freaking story about Comet Ping Pong in Washington, D.C., claiming that Hillary Clinton was running a pedophile ring in the basement of Comet Ping Pong, where she was, trafficking children. And I think, what was it? What it went to? They were draining their blood for adrenochrome or some shit like that. These frickin' QAnon nutters believe this shit so much that one of them showed up at Comet Ping Pong with an AR-15, held everybody hostage. And I've talked about this before. How would you like to be the manager at Comet Ping Pong, trying to keep everybody alive while explaining to a fucking psychopath that believes you have children chained in the basement. He is there to be their savior, and you have no basement. You have no basement. Imagine being in that situation. Open the basement. We don't have a basement. Oh, he believes this enough that he has picked up a weapon and driven. I think, what did he come from? Virginia? I can't remember. Somebody, one of y'all will know. Y'all are so damn well informed. My memory fails me here. I think he came from Virginia, didn't he? Virginia or Kentucky or something like that. Drove all the way to D.C. with an AR-15. I mean, he believed it that damn much. These people are freaking psychopaths, man. All of them. All of them. Mike Daly, the Dim. Good morning, brother. Hillary has a perfect resting damn these idiots are stupid face. Pretty soon we'll all have that look. Kidding. I'm actually looking forward to today. I am very much looking forward to Bill Clinton's testimony, one way or the other. Mr. Will 73. Hey, Paul, here with you as always. If you could please talk about Trump attempting to nationalize elections when you can. This is me word. I've talked about it many times, Mr. Will. I'll put a pin in the show and I'll talk about it. The federal government doesn't run elections. He can't nationalize them. They would have to pass a constitutional amendment through Congress, then have it ratified in the states. None of that is going to happen before the election. He's going to run his mouth. That's what's going to happen. The federal government does not run elections. States run elections. There ain't fuck all that Trump can do about it. Stop worrying about it. This is Trump. Part of the 2025 project was to make themselves look really scary, to make themselves look really tough. That's all this shit is. It's all it is. He can't nationalize shit. Nothing. Don't worry about it. They're going to cheat. Don't get me wrong. They're going to cheat. They are. And they're going to try to come up with as many excuses as possible. I want to get rid of this tab. I don't want this face staring at me. I don't. Good morning, Julie. Glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Arizona in the house. Arizona in the house. One second. Casey Lake, democracy dies in distraction and complacency. Get out and fight. Love from Canada. Amen. 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 That's who's in this community right here. People that are on top of shit. This is why they're ahead of me in the show all the time. Hurricane Heidi. Time to schedule up Melania for this ridiculousness. Yeah. Absolutely. Abso-frickin-lutely. Let's schedule not just Melania, but I got one for you. How about Allison Letnick? Forgive the graininess of this picture. House on the left, Jeffrey Epstein. House on the right, Howard Letnick. Let's hear what they have to say. They lived next door to the man. They were neighbors. They literally owned the house right next door to the man. I'm thinking Allison Letnick probably has more to say than Hillary Clinton. If we're going to bring the wives into it, yes, Melania, 100%. Melania should be testifying. She absolutely had a very close relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. There are rumors that she actually had a romantic involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell called her sweet pea. They were close. I would think she would have much more to offer. I think that she would have much more to offer. Lily Wiggs, did you hear that Cuba intercepted an American boat in their waters? Has anything come of this incident? Yes, we found out one of them is an American. And we also found out that after they disabled the boat, and they quit fighting back, because remember, they were firing at the Cuban troops. When they quit firing at the Cuban troops, they arrested them. 6 survivors. 6, and we're going to find out more about those survivors. We'll talk about that more on Sunday's show because it's kind of a big deal, you know. They interdicted this boat and didn't just kill everybody. Yeah, it's happening, man. It is on. It is on. Mike Daly, if you didn't hear, what she's talking about is there was a speedboat that is, so far the story is it was stolen with 10 people on it headed to Cuba. Still don't have a good reasoning for why that was happening. Don't know if it was drug smuggling. Don't know if it was human smuggling. That happens. That happens. You've got Cuban families in Florida that want some of their family from Cuba to be able to come over, and they will smuggle them. That happens. We don't know exactly what was going on with this boat, but we do know that it came in contact with Cuban Border Patrol. And when Cuban Border Patrol tried to interdict this boat, they fired a warning shot across the bow. People on the boat opened fire at the Cubans, and then Cuban laid into the boat, disabling the boat and killing 4 of the people on the boat, leaving 6 people in the water, which they retrieved alive. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. This was in the waters just off of Cuba, by the way. Mike Daly, the Dim. Good morning, brother. Hillary has a perfect Oh yeah, you already got that one. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I'm reading the same ones over again. Cadet Bone Spurs. Maxwell's behind the 4chan start of Pizzagate. I don't know about that, brother. I don't know. Julie Reyes. Good morning, Texas. Wait a minute. Boy, I'm gonna screw it, folks. I'm gonna read some of these 3 times. I am. Monica Meadows, Kansas GOP just passed a law against trans people and are forcing licenses with gender-affirming labels to be invalid with no grace period. I love that you people are so far ahead of everything. And this just happened in regards to what you're talking about. ACLU has come out and said they are filing suit today against Kansas to invalidate that stupid law. If you don't know what's going on, right before the election, the state of Kansas wants to invalidate anybody's license that does not confirm. If someone has gone, they've had gender affirming surgery, the transgender person in the state of Kansas, you could go down and you could get the driver's license of your gender. Not your birth gender, of your gender. State of Kansas, because right-wingers are having a real problem dealing with the fact that transgender people exist. They're really not having an easy time in dealing with something that's been, this whole, we've talked about this a couple times on the show, the whole dust up about A&M University and Plato. They're not in their philosophy program. They're not going to teach Plato anymore, which is insane because Plato wrote a treatise where he recognized and spoke about transgender people. Yeah, transgender people have always been here. They've always existed. Always. They talk about them going back to ancient Greece, man. And before that. They've always been here. But for some reason, the weak little snowflakes among us can't go through their Sunday sermons. They always consider themselves Christians. I don't know. I don't know how that ties together. Don't know how that ties together, but it always end up tying together. Christians cannot wrap their head around the fact that that transgender people have been part of every society as long as we've been, because that's because of the way transgender people come to exist. It just has to do with our own reproduction. It does. It does. In fact, I learned something new the other day that there are actually documented cases, and I've forgotten the name of the syndrome. Somebody smarter than me will probably know. In the chat will probably know. There is a syndrome where a woman can be born with complete just a woman, have children, but she has XY chromosomes. Yeah. Yeah. Just found that out the other day. I didn't know that happened. I learn something new all the time. I do. I can't remember what it's called. It's called Snyder syndrome or something like that. But yeah, 100%. Your DNA test her. She's got XY chromosomes. Everything about her DNA says she's a man, but she is standing right in front of you, a woman, full-fledged woman. And oh, by the way, here's my baby. Yeah. Yeah. But the Christians in Kansas can't deal with it. They're falling down having a fit, want to distract from the fact that their beloved mango god is all over the Epstein files, is a disgusting human being, an economic failure, a foreign policy failure. They're a failure, and they don't want to deal with that. So, hey, let's go kick the shit out of transgender people for no freaking reason whatsoever, just because they're small, tiny, little fucked up people. Yeah. But here comes the ACLU. Alexander Dulforce. Hello from Ohio. I learned so much here. You also sound just like someone I knew in high school who used to crack me up every day. Keep it up, Paul. I'm glad you enjoy it, man. I'm glad you get some use out of this. Catch my whiff. What do you think about the Civics bumper sticker campaign? Civics in easy chunks, helpful or a waste of effort? Waste, complete waste. You're not going to get through to people. If you can't get through to them when they're kids in school, you're not going to get through to them as adults. You're not. I love the way you're thinking. I do. I love the way you're thinking. They're not us. I keep telling you, remember, you're not them. Quit getting mad at me for calling them the stupids. They're the people that don't know basic civics. They're the stupids. You're not going to make them the not stupids. They're going to have to want to be themselves. And that's so rare. That is so rare. Nina Hansen. It also happened in East Side Pies in Austin. I'm telling you, folks, Metal Rabbit, if those walls had ears or listening devices, I really want to know what's going on in that testimony right now. There's Pierce 205. Thank you for being here. Thank you, part of our European audience. Thank you for being here. I'm Messian Sphinx. Every time I hear what Trump is doing, all I can think of is the Wizard of Oz when Toto removes the curtain and sees who he really is. What a joke. Yep. Hey, while I read some of these comments, I want to pull this picture up. Somebody with like some psychology chops. Tell me what the purpose of this is. What's the psychology behind the fake ass crying? She's not crying. She gets attention called to her. Here comes the fake completely dry tissue. Obviously, ladies, I've been married for a while. I understand makeup. I've seen my wife deal. We've had sad situations. I've seen her cry. I've seen what happens to her makeup when she cries. That bitch ain't crying. She is not crying. What is the psychology behind the fake crying? Shell Bell, thank you for being here. Thank you. Lenore Banks, blind man dumped on streets, left to die. This is where we're going. We are going to wrap the show up with Shah Alem. We are in the Customs and Border. There's actually two stories we're going to be talking about with Customs and Border Patrol. Did you see that the Senate refused to pass the Save America voting the SAVE Act? Yeah. I told you, folks, they've killed it twice. It's going to have I'm not saying that it can't happen, but yeah, I wouldn't wager that the SAVE Act is going to get through the Senate. I can't. I wouldn't. I don't believe it is. So what is this? What is this? What is the psychology behind this? I mean, what's the goal at this point to like do the Tammy Faye Baker impersonation? I don't get it. What's she trying to accomplish? What's the goal? It just looks stupid at this point. Does anybody have a clue? Can anybody tell me what it is? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Somebody send me an email that has some psychology training and explain to me what it is about, trying to, you're fine, this, that, and the other. And then here comes the camera. And then you're like, and then the camera goes away and you're like, oh, by the way, are we doing lunch, Tina? Are we doing lunch today? Okay, good. Oh, camera's back. What is that? What the fuck is that? Besides inhuman. Bingo. I knew one of y'all would. I knew one of y'all would know. Sawyer syndrome. Yep. A woman, XY chromosomes, boom, has a child. Yep. 100%. It's just who we are, people. It's just who we are. Making babies is not a Xerox machine. You know what I mean? It is a chemical process. And one of the byproducts of that chemical process is two absolutely straight people can have a baby, and that baby comes out gay. They do. The mechanisms in their mind that are, like you have a mechanism in your mind that makes you breathe. There's, that's part of your autonomic. That's up here. It's not your lungs. It's in your brain. Okay. For just in case one of the idiot Cletuses trips into the show, maybe they'll learn something. Your breathing has nothing to do with your lungs. Just like when you look at someone, ladies and gentlemen, whoever you look at and you go, yeah, that's in here also. Has nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this. I know we make the joke that it's thinking. It ain't thinking. It ain't. It's just an appendage. That's it. All that's up here. And every once in a while, when someone's developing, that thing up here that makes you go, ooh, yeah. Instead of going to the opposite sex, you get wired to, ooh, yeah, same sex. And Cletus can't figure that out. Cletus just cannot wrap his head around that because it makes him feel weird. It does. He doesn't want to feel weird. He does. Are you looking at my butt? No, Cletus, you have no ass. Tony Mason, they are willfully stupid. That's worse than normal. Where I'm going with that is, I'm sorry. I am just going to go off on a tangent, and I apologize. People are just people. Can you just leave them the fuck alone and let them live their lives? They're just people. Get over yourselves. When I was a child, when I was a young man, not fully grown and confident in my own skin, I'd see two guys kiss or something like that, and I'd be like, ooh, yeah, it freaked me out. It did when I was young, but I was a child. I was a kid. I wasn't confident in who I was and my own sexuality and this, that, and the other. I wasn't getting laid. These are fucking grown-ups that just can't let people live their lives. Now I see two dudes kissing and I'm like, damn, their marriage is probably going to end up better than most. Did you know that's a statistic anomaly? That is that not anomaly. It's a statistic truth. Of all the different marriages, 2 gay men married have the most stable marriages. They do. They do. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. 2 gay men are the most stable, happiest marriages, followed by a man and a woman. And bringing up the rear, my lesbian sisters, what's going on, man? Y'all cannot stay married. Y'all have the highest divorce rate and the most unhappy marriages. What is going on there, man? I have to say, as a guy, I feel a little vindicated. It's not me, babe. It's not me. It's not me. It's you. I'm digging a hole. Better stop. Better stop. They're willfully stupid. Amen, brother. That is true. Let me run through some of these comments real quick. I'm off my tangent. My son is transgender and you'd never know it. This is so frightening what is happening. I'm heartbroken as a mom. I know, right? Just let him be. Just let him be. You know, just let your son live your life. Vince, thank you for being here. Thanks for standing up for us. Being trans is hard enough without having to put up with legal prejudice. I'm telling you, brother. I'm telling you. Just let people be. You know, life is hard enough, folks. It is hard enough. Life will kick you in the cooter. Just when you think it's going good, just think when you got a handle on everything, you reach my point in life. Somebody told me this the other day and just pissed me off so bad. Just reminded me. We were talking and I was talking about, man, you know, I would not go back to my young self for anything. There's a lot of people that want to be young and pretty again. I do not. I'm really cool with who I am. I am super happy with who I am. Financially, I'm not a moron anymore. Like I said, I'm much more confident. Shit doesn't bother me. It just is what it is. I'm a much happier man now. I am. And then that sorry SOB. So, yeah, man. But you know what you get to look forward to now? My friend's a nurse. He says, you know what you get to look forward to now, right? At your age, you got cancer, you got heart problems, and I'm fuck you. Just when you think you got it all wired straight. Oh man, here comes my high blood pressure. Twisted Coconut. Mahalo for all you do. Keep us informed. Aloha to you and Mrs. Texas Paul. Glad you're here, my friend. Glad you're here. Hawaii in the house. Glad you're here. Broken portraits. MAGA folks don't start it with an open mind. They start with their own conclusions, then look for causes that fit their goals. If you're new, first of all, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. This is what we do. I will stop and I'll read comments and then I'll get right back into the news. So just hang with me. We're going to read some comments and then we'll get back to it. Mandoli, I remember the picture of Obama and Clinton in the Situation Room when they got Osama and how proud we were as a united nation. I'm sad how far and how fast we've seemingly allowed ourselves to devolve. Yep. And I don't know that this isn't permanent, folks. I really don't, because I don't trust these people. I don't. I see somebody that I think might be MAGA, white dude, looks like me. So I get it. This happens to me all the time online. I will get people that will leave an ugly comment on a video that doesn't watch the video. They just leave a nasty because they think I'm coming from the MAGA point of view. I get it. I don't even get angry about that anymore. I understand. Don't trust me. Make me earn it. That's where we're at. Make me earn it. Catch my whiff. I recall a woman, she should have been a twin, but the twin didn't develop. She has the twin's ovaries. She had a baby and the kid's DNA isn't, I think that's what chimera syndrome they call that. DNA isn't the right match for her. Biology is nuts and very cool. Yep. I think that's what that's called, right? Chimera syndrome. Crazy. Marmaduke you see what I mean? The shit people deal with in life, just let them live their damn lives. Leave them alone. Marmaduke Jamin said, welcome. Welcome. Chandra Patton, always here with the big support, Chandra. I'm so glad you're here. Anomalies happen in nature, not just humans. Yeah. Yeah. Crafty Ass Gardner, thank you for. There's gifted memberships out there to be had, folks. Grab them up. Grab them up. MAGA are uneducated, not stupid. Follow a cult college themselves. A lot of them are stupid. I live in MAGA country. A lot of them are just butt-ass stupid. Veggie Owl. Glad you're here. Veggie Owl Girl. During the development of the embryo, there is a duct that something on the Y chromosome destroys. We start as female, and the destruction of the duct turns us into male. I'm guessing a defective Y chromosome. Could be. Could be. Could be. The henhouse third gender, as it is known, goes back to ancient times, and it was well received by all religions. I know, right? Isn't that so crazy? Isn't that so crazy? Transgender people, like if you go back to just the first people, I mean, I don't care if you're talking about Inuit. I don't care if you're talking about Cherokee. I don't care. They revered transgender people. They called them two spirits. It takes MAGA Christians, Christian nationalists, to turn this into a hate fest. E.T. being gay has become mainstream enough that they can't actively go after us like they could even a few years ago, so they have to go after them first. And I'm telling you, that is a you problem. And I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you, when I was young, like in my early 20s, I was a fucking moron. I had a me problem. I did. It made me uncomfortable as shit. I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't know how to deal with it because I was a fucking dumbass. I wasn't confident. I was never. I was like, ooh, threatened. If a gay guy hit on me, I was like, what? No, man. Now I get it all the time. Believe it or not. Hey, bear. Well, thank you, but no. Don't let my wife read that email. She'll kick your ass. You know what I mean? Life's so much better now, isn't it? Tell the truth, folks. Tell the truth. A lot of us are my age, and life is much better now, isn't it? Daryl Curzon, I live in Monroe County, Indiana, and some idiot paid to put a Charlie Kirk sympathy billboard on the state road that runs by my neighborhood. What a waste of money. I hope they paid a lot of money to do that. I hear you. I can't understand the whole Charlie jerk love. I can't. New members, Melinda. Thank you for being here. Melinda Armando. Thank you. Shell Bell, new member. Alan DeMornay, new member. All right, let's get back into it. Let's get back to work. Let's get back to what we're talking about. All righty. We'll save that in case we have time. We'll come to that last. All right, let's go this direction. I want to show you something. This is the FBI headquarters in Quantico, an aerial view of it. Quite impressive, isn't it? Isn't it? This is where they do their training in Quantico, I should say. Pretty impressive. This is where the rest of agents are pretty much what all the rest of the agents are trained. This is what they call FLUTC. They love to, shrink shit down and make it, FLUTC. It's the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. FLETC. FLUTC. It's in Glenn County, Georgia, or as they call it, Glencoe. Yeah, I'm not fucking with you there. Really, they call it Glencoe. This is FLUTC. This is the federal. We went to Google Maps for this. Go to the map. I'm in a good mood today. Can you tell? This is FLUTC from the air. Give you an idea where it's at. It's in Brunswick, Georgia, just north of the Florida line here, not too far from Savannah. Savannah is where they like to go party when they get time off finally. But this is the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. Again, impressive facility. This is where Customs and Border Patrol, you get all different kinds. A lot of people don't know this. They think special agent means FBI. It does not. Special, they're just about everything. I mean, Postal has special agents, Treasury, of course, T-Man, Treasury agents, just about everything. VA, they all have special agents. There's an investigative service in every one of these departments. They get trained here. They get trained here. And I will tell you, I know enough special agents to know the bottom of the barrel, the agents that they make fun of, that are the least educated, the least qualified, get the least training, is Customs and Border Patrol. They're the least paid, or used to be. I don't know if all that money, if they bumped up Customs and Border Patrol pay or not. I need to learn that. They were the least paid. They got the least respect. They did. Of everybody that was at FLETC, they got the least respect. This is the new, in case you're wondering, this is the new ICE training facility that they built. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. Yeah. But there was a reason, and I want you to put a pin in that. There is a reason CBP got the absolute least respect. Absolute least respect of all the agents that trained here. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. You've got the FBI, which are the snobbiest of the snobs. They're like, we have a law degree. We graduated at Quantico. Then you've got, all the agents who graduated. There's a hierarchy. There is. There's some snobbery. It is what it is. It is what it is. Put a pin in that. We're going to come back to it. Now we're going to jump to something crazy. This is Aung San Suu Kyi. You remember Aung San Suu Kyi? She won the Nobel Prize and disastrously fell from grace. She was the leader of Myanmar. While she was leader of Myanmar, there was a genocide that took place. Yeah, an attempted genocide took place against the Rohingya people, the Muslims. And it was horrific. It was horrific. She lost all respect. She did. This is Min Aung Hlaing. He is the leader of Myanmar now. He has locked up Aung San Suu Kyi. What happened is they had a military coup. Back in 2021. This old boy decided, when Aung San Suu Kyi's party, the National League for Democracy, won an overwhelming victory in their election. They won like 390 out of like 400 and it's like 395 seats out of like 420 seats. I don't remember the exact number, but they just demolished everybody in the election. This guy got real scared. He did. Because what he figured out was, they're going to force me to retire. And I'm 65 years old. They're going to force me to retire. And here I have been genociding. I'm going to lose all of my military protection when I retire. Can't let that happen. So he just took over the government. Just took over the government. That's the kind of guy this is. And I've got to tell you, what's been going on in Myanmar is the worst of the worst. They've displaced about 3 million people. Yeah, we've touched on this in another show. We talked about this. This is the Kutupalong refugee camp. We've talked about this in a prior show. This is the Kutupalong refugee camp. That's a little bit inaccurate. I'm going somewhere with this to American News Today, so stick with me. It's not just one camp. It's literally just a whole series of camps, but they call it the Kutupalong refugee camp. It is, I mean, it's hell on earth. Google it. Kutupalong Kutupalong refugee camp, and take a look at the images out of this place. It is hell on earth. It is. The people in it are the Rohingya people. They are a Muslim minority in Myanmar, in Burma. Skeets there breaking. U.S. Gerald Ford is full of poo. Yeah, you heard about that. And had to port in Greece. Every deck is covered in feces. They have been at sea for how many months? Sabotage. Yeah, this happens on cruise ships every once in a while. This is why cruising scares me. But yeah, in case you didn't hear, yeah, one of the worst toilet disasters on any military ship to ever happen has happened to the Gerald R. Ford. I think they said 85% of toilets backed up. Yeah. God, man. Man. God, hats off to you sailors, man. That's got to be awful. But yeah, they're parked in Greece trying to get the shitters to work and mop the place up. Mop the place. Cassie Lake, how long until you see dump dressed like this? No kidding, right? No kidding. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. Don Carter says Obama was the best president ever. I'm going somewhere with this. I don't want to get sidetracked. I don't want to get sidetracked. Welcome, Kira. Welcome. Kira loves Michael. Glad to see you. So, there are Rohingya refugees going all over the world. Our European friends can tell you. There are Rohingya refugees in Europe. There are some here. One of the places they settled was Buffalo, New York. And they have full refugee status. That means they're protected. You can't just deport them. But this happened. Yeah. Nearly blind refugee found dead in New York days after immigration agents dropped him at a coffee shop alone, officials say. What happened is far worse than that. This is Nurul Amin Shah Alem. Goes by Shah Alem. He's blind, as you see his left eye there. He is completely blind in his left eye and has nothing but blurred vision in his right eye. And this story it's just going to piss you off. It's just going to piss you off. He flees that disaster in Myanmar. He comes here to be safe. He's out walking around. Doesn't have a lot of money. Doesn't even have a proper cane. You've seen the feeler canes, the white feeler canes, the fold out feeler canes. Doesn't even have a proper one of those. Has a curtain rod that he uses to feel his way around. He gets lost and turned around. I'm not going to give the exact address, but I want you to see where this happened, where he was arrested, where he was dumped, and where he died. Go to the map. This is Towanda Street in Buffalo, New York. Okay, this is Buffalo, New York. Niagara Falls, Buffalo, New York. This is Tonawanda. Pardon me, Tonawanda Street. Tonawanda Street. That was a nickname we had for my granddaughter, Towanda. She used to be crazy when she was a kid. We'd call her Tawanda. But Tonawanda Street. He was arrested. I'm not going to point out. I know the exact address from the documents, but you imagine it was one of these houses, okay? I'm going to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I'm going to come back to another map here in just a second. He got confused. He got lost. Turned into to the wrong house. Ended up in somebody's backyard. They had a dog. I don't know if you know this, but Muslims, not the most kosher relationship with dogs. Rohingya, they don't keep dogs. They don't. It freaked him the hell out. And we don't know exactly what happened. We don't know if he was trying to get in the shed to escape. We don't know what the deal was, but he got into a shed in that backyard and damaged the door. The people that lived in the house called the police. Buffalo PD shows up. He does not speak English. He is almost completely blind. And he's fucking terrified. He is lost. They start screaming at him in English to put his curtain rod down. He has no idea what they're saying. They might as well have been screaming, meatloaf recipes at him. He doesn't know. They tase him. This dude's in fight or flight mode, okay? He's damn near blind. He's freezing ass cold in the middle of winter, lost, freaked out from a freaking dog. Two guys show up and start screaming at him. Can't understand a damn thing they're saying. They tase him and begin to beat the brakes off of him. He starts fighting back. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. He bit one of those officers on the arm. He bit another one on the hand. Boom. Assault. They locked him up in jail without trial for a year. For a year, they locked him up. From last winter to this winter. Finally, the system catches up with him. And Buffalo decides then that, well, we're not going to try to go the long haul on this. But we're not going to let you off because you bit a cop. So you're going to plead to something. So they called his curtain rod that he was using as a blind cane, they called it a weapon. They charged him with a misdemeanor weapons charge, and they charged him with trespassing. And they made him a deal. After holding you in jail for a year, we won't send you to prison for a really long time for assault if you'll just cop to this. So he did. Remember, his family doesn't have the money to get him out of jail. They don't. Skeets there. Buffalo was one of the hardest hit cities by Reagan's policies. Yep. I've been to Buffalo. Parts of Buffalo are really hard to look at, my friends. It is a rough town. So, after being held for a year in jail, they cut him loose. But because he is a brown person, one of them they're immigrants, and he's been charged with a crime, guess what they're doing right now? They're deporting everybody they can. They got a quota to meet, man. Got to make them bonuses. So CBP has somebody in their office that just goes through the blotter. This guy decides to plead out, looks for his court date. Court date gets done. CBP picks him up. Okay, you're out, done, misdemeanors, walk. CBP takes him immediately and locks him up after being in jail for a year. CBP on February 19th finally comes around to actually taking a look at this man's status. He is a Rohingya refugee. They can't deport him. Not legally. They can't. They don't know shit about this guy. They're talking to him through a phone app. And they tell him, they said, this is their story. I don't know if it's true or not. The person I asked about it, who is actually law enforcement, said that's bullshit. Their story is they told him, okay, we're going to cut you loose, can't deport you. Want to ride? To which he said, sure, give me a ride. Take me down to Tim Hortons. And that's what they did. They took him down to Tim Hortons and they did this. This is the actual security video from that Tim Hortons. I want you to watch something when I'm going to play this. It's stick with me. It's only about 30 seconds long. He makes his way over to the curb. And I happen to know a blind person and I recognize what he did. Watch his left foot. He starts bumping the curb with his left foot when he's walking. This man is blind. They just dropped him off in Buffalo, New York in February. It was 19 degrees outside. 19 fucking degrees outside. He's blind. He doesn't know where he is. They just kind of took him back close to his neighborhood. This is where they dropped him off. Go back to the map. Now remember, this is Tonawanda Street up here, kind of near where he lives, where he was kind of lost and confused. They dropped him off way down here at Tim Hortons. And they say that's what he asked them to do. No. They dropped him off at this Tim Hortons, which was closed, by the way. Remember that when I was telling you about how they just kind of shit on Border Patrol agents at Flutzy? Remember, I love you people so much. I love you. I don't even doubt this. 100%. Tonawanda is Iroquoian name for swift water. I believe it. 100%. You people are so damn informed. Y'all amaze me. Every time I turn around, y'all amaze me. Y'all do. But do you see how far away? Here's Tim Hortons. This is where he got arrested. This intersection. Way the hell down here, they dropped him off on foot at night. Tim Hortons is closed. It's 19 degrees outside. Now, I want you to notice this. Pay attention to this. We're going south. We're going south. We're going south to the Key Bank Center. I'm sorry about the map. I'm going to back out a little bit. That's the Key Bank Center. You recognize the Key Bank Center, right? There's the Tim Hortons, and up here's the neighborhood. In 5 days, from February 19th to February 25th, he meandered around, wandered around, lost in Buffalo until after 5 nights of teen temperatures, he finally died of exposure right here on Perry Street, trying to get some cover. Now, Buffalo's raising holy hell about this because they're saying if you'd have just called us, if you'd have just given him back to us, we're the ones that prosecuted him. We had contacts to his family. We could have got him home and this, that, and the other. To which I say, fuck you for holding him for a fucking year and charging him with a bullshit fucking misdemeanor fucking charge over a goddamn curtain rod that he used because he was a blind man and couldn't afford a walking stick. You're not the good guys here, Buffalo. That's who we are. That's who we are. On the streets of Buffalo, this man walked around for 5 days lost in 19 sub-degree temperatures. And nobody did shit. And Customs and Border Patrol thought it was a good idea after figuring out they had enough information to figure out he was a Rohingya refugee. They couldn't deport him, and at that point didn't give a shit. They took him out and dumped him at a freaking Tim Hortons that was closed. Because they just didn't give a shit. And they're arrogant enough to say their story is, hey, we were just trying to help the guy out. We asked him if he wanted to. It was a courtesy ride. It was a courtesy ride. That's who we are right now, folks. That's who we are as a country. Now, I know you feel like I do. Hey, we're not the same. We are not the same people. Our European audience, we will tell you, the people here, me, the people on the left, Democrats, that's not who we are. But you know what, folks? We have to freaking own. We got to own that's who we are. This one, I am glad to say, is being investigated. Alex Preddy? Nope. Renee Good? Nope. Anybody? None of the other people that ICE have killed? Nope. This one is getting investigated. I guess there's just been enough horrible things that they're finally doing it. But yeah. I'm going to tell you something, folks. I have always been, when my dad moved to Texas, I'm first generation Texan. I was born and raised here. My father immigrated here to Texas. when he got here, he had some college education. He was working and going to school. He had a little business on the side with a friend of his where they had a small engine repair shop on top of his job. But he really wanted to be a cop at first. That's what he wanted to do after he moved here. So he got in with the Bexar County Police Department. I've got other family members that are law enforcement. I've always defended. I've never been one of those ACAB people because I know there are people. I know law enforcement. I know law enforcement. The person I talked to this morning about this, freaking livid, just screaming, bullshit courtesy ride my fucking ass was the response that I got. So, yeah, I've always said, look, we ask cops to do a shitty job. When they screw up, we roll up a newspaper and we smack them in the fucking mouth. We ask them to be in the worst situations all the time. Look at the worst of humanity. That yada, yada. You've heard me say this shit before. That is not what this is. I am done. What the hell kind of person takes a blind man and dumps him on the street in the middle of a Buffalo winter? We need a douche. This whole country needs a fucking douche. We do. Because let me tell you, if you think that's the only bad story that's happened, nope. Not even close. Not even close. I want to introduce you to Amina, aka Ellie for short. Agayeva. Absolutely stunning, isn't she? Absolutely stunning. And I got to tell you, sharp too. She's about to graduate from Columbia University with a degree in neurosciences, with a neurosciences degree. I do apologize. I don't know her specific degree plan, but I know she's got a beautiful brain. I know that much. When she first moved here, when she first immigrated here on a student visa, this happens, folks. This is something that happens. It happens more often than you think. It's actually pretty common. She's Azerbaijani, by the way. She's Azerbaijani. Back in 2016, when she first moved here and first started, she's about to graduate with, from, with a neuroscience degree from Columbia. When you get student immigrants, often they will change their mind on their degree plan. Some of them will have a hard time adjusting. Some of them will just, like I said, just change their mind in what they want to do. Some of them can't get all the courses that they want to get. And these visas have attendance requirements. So if you're one of these students and you say, exactly, that's college. That's just college. That's just immigrant or not, that's just college. Well, it's been understood that that's just college. But the system is the system. You don't keep up with your hours, whatever, the system spits you out. And at 2016, she lost her student visa. Her lawyer, her professors, and everybody say that she actually fixed that. ICE? Nah. They say, nah, she didn't. She's about to graduate. This is her last semester. And I showed up at her dorm at Columbia, and they lied. They lied about who they were. They did not tell them they were ICE. They said they were police officers investigating a missing child. And of course, they had their federal badges hanging. But the campus cop that they talked to is not real privy, you know? He didn't know. They said, yeah, we just need to make sure that this child's okay. We're looking for a missing child. We just need to take a look. They just lied. They just lied about who they were. They lied about why they were there. They went to her dorm, her apartment, got her neighbor who, you know, they've got the dorm managers, the dorm moms, to open the door. And they just grabbed her. Now imagine that, you know, if you take her at her word, back in 2016, she lost her visa. She got that fixed. She got it straightened out. She's focused on school. She has no idea. All of a sudden, her door is opening. She thinks it's a roommate. Boom. ICE comes breaking in. They snatch her the fuck up and try to haul ass with her. And that's when campus police said, this isn't right. I need to see your warrant. I need to see your judicial warrant. To which these ICE officers said, fuck you, get out of my way. And drug her out. Threw a coat over her head and drug her out. She had a phone in her pocket. And when they got her in the vehicle, she fired off an Instagram post explaining what was going on, and her friends freaked out. Word got out. The university got informed as to what happened. The university does not cooperate with Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. They got on the horn. This ran all the way up to Mayor Mamdani. Mayor Mamdani was supposed to talk to Donald Trump about housing in New York City. He took that opportunity to take a picture of that beautiful young woman and showed it to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump's like, oh, well, we can make exceptions. Oh, yeah. She's a young hottie. We can make exceptions. And she was released immediately. Now, they still, because the Trump regime is a piece of shit organization, they still have the charges saying that they want to deport her. She's no longer in ICE custody. She is free. She's at home now. But again, her lawyer says this is bullshit. She has fixed her student visa status so that you're going to see these charges get quietly dropped. But this is who these people are. This is how incompetent they are. This is how immoral they are. Like I said, I've spent my adult life defending law enforcement. I have. Because I know there are some people out there that just want to serve. That's all they want to do. They're the calm guy in the stressful situation, shit like that. But we have to deal with who we are. We do. This child, and yes, to me, she's a child. She's just this is her last semester, man. She's just trying to get ready for finals. She's got just a few weeks left where she's trying to push out, get into a master's program, become a doctor. Now she's got this fucking trauma to deal with. Pardon my language. I know a lot of cussing in the show today, and I'm sorry, but you think that's not going to scar? Her door flies open and she just gets snatched up. You think that's not, you think she's going to sleep? This is who we are, man. This is who we are right now. And we are fighting for our very existence. We are. We're fighting for our very existence. Mr. Newton in the house. Trump's chain is even rubbing onto the super carriers. Skeets there. Buffalo is one of the hardest hit cities by rate. Yep. Mike Daly, the Dem, saw this story, Paul. We need people of all creeds thinking, especially of Christians, that ask, would I want this done to me before treating others like this? Getting so sick of this bullshit. Me too. Skeets there. The conservatives used 1984 and A Brave New World to create a modern American society. Yep. Aldo Huxley. That was a good book. Skeets there is no such thing as an illegal alien. Every human is born on Earth. You know, that's the thing. They just don't want you to think of them as people. Skeets there, this is making me cry. I tell you, I'm sorry, I got choked up too. That he who was without sin cast the first stone. Amen, brother. Amen. Cassie Lake, Canadian police did this to the First Nations Starlink tours. Love you too, Cape Maryland. I do. I love you people. Angela Pierce, thanks for supporting the show. I'm truly grateful. Hermana of Delphi, we are not the same. R doesn't see a problem. No, they're loving this. Skeets there. Thing my mother taught me was never put hate in your heart. In fact, don't even say it in emotion. You know what? I want to back up. No, we are not the same. Do you know what they've done? This is the last thing we're going to talk about, immigration, and we're going to move on to something else. You know what they've done? They doxed Renee Good's 6-year-old son. They did. They didn't like the school he went to. They thought they could, dunk on the school he went to. They thought it was just too woke. So all over right-wing social media, they have pictures, the school and the name of the school, pictures of the school and the address of the school where Renee Good's 6-year-old child attends or did attend. That's not going to continue. No, we are not the same. Solara, what's really happening in Dilley, Texas, with 1,000 Mexican children held in prison, no medication, no support. No world needs to hear and see this because America and Texas doesn't care about the. You know what? It's worse than you think. They have a measles outbreak in that facility. They've got children getting sick from the water. But yeah, the parents, everything's on lockdown. The parents aren't able to see their kids. They're not able to do anything. Nothing's being allowed to happen. The lawyers are being kept out. They have a full-on measles outbreak in that facility down in Texas, Dilley. Down in Dilley right now. Never forget what they make this country. Never forget what they make this country. Mike Daly did them neuroscience and political science, from what I understand. Yep. Glenn, thank you for gifting the memberships, man. Thank you. At a college dorm, give me a break. A frat house, maybe. Christopher Daly, we need to start thinking about after Trump. It might help us understand why Trump. Skeets here. It's all BS. They told us part of his ear was blown apart and expected us to believe he is a gecko. Yeah, just grew an ear back. E.T. It is less than 36 weeks until the general election. Make sure of your voter registration deadlines. Make sure of your early voting dates. Get involved. Amen, brother. Thank you here with always. Thank you for always being here with that strong message, Mr. Knutson. I wonder what envious, spurned, fragile loser called ICE. Pathetic, shameful behavior. The people working at ICE are not the best of us. Shameful. No, they're using. I tell you what they're doing. They're using AI to go through court dockets. They're marrying up immigration lists with court dockets, and anything that comes together, they just go get them and deport them. That's what they're doing. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they're guilty, not guilty. Doesn't matter the situation. Go get them and deport them, because we've got a quota to fill. And they think it's gonna make them look good to their base. It is. It does make them look good to their base, because their base are inhuman. Christy Ann Nice, thank you for being here. Vote every place you can. Register and vote now. Amen. Willfully incompetent, Tony Mason. Yep. Dumb as dog shit or willfully incompetent. One of the two. Weird Idaho Liberal, thank you for always being here, brother. Hey, Texas Paul, just got home from work and missed most of your show. Replay later. Quickly tune in to say good morning. Hope you had a good snooze. Good morning. Good cup of coffee. See you Sunday. Rich Lawton, thanks for everyone being here and fighting the good fight. Only a couple more and we'll be done with this. Off topic, Kristi Noem is putting out feelers to challenge Mike Rounds for a Senate seat in November. South Dakota would be ignorant to vote for her. Yeah, that is actually true. I haven't done that on the show yet. I've been waiting to hear more, but that's the rumors right now in D.C. is that Kristi Noem has been quietly putting her feelers out to put in her exit papers. Yeah, she might be trying to run for Senate. Cape Mary Light, entering this country illegal is only a federal misdemeanor crime under 8 USC. I know, right? It's just a misdemeanor. It's not anything. I want to talk about this. This is important. First of all, I want to talk about one other thing before we do. I want to talk about Casey Means. This is insane. I don't know if you've been following this, because there's been so much going on, so much news going on, that, the Clinton deposition, and then everybody's, keeping their eye on Iran and stuff like this. This is kind of it's made some news, but not the news that it should. Casey Means, they're trying to make Surgeon General. She is not a licensed physician. She is not. She's nuts, man. She's way the hell out there past Kennedy with the anti-vaxxer stuff, the anti-birth control stuff. She's all about like moon power and, using psychedelics. She just out there, man. But during her hearings, she's doing that Brett Kavanaugh, Robert Kennedy shit, sitting in the hearings. Well, of course I believe in birth control for women, even though she's an influencer. That's what she is. She is a right-wing influencer. She's one of those health nut people on the internet that peddles bullshit on Instagram. But yeah, she's going through her hearing And right now, she doesn't have the votes. Thank God. Right now, she doesn't have the votes. We'll see what happens. But we got to make some noise on this so that the couple Republicans that she's in committee right now. Hasn't gone to the floor for a full vote for confirmation yet. She's in committee. She's not getting out of committee at this point. But you spread the word. Do a little Google on Casey Means is her name. And spread this shit on your social media so that it gets out there. Because right now we've got the usual Murkowski and just the Wind Sox. They're the ones holding this up. Let's see if we can't give them a little spine. A little spine. All right, I want to talk about this. This is important. When Zoran Mamdani won, right after he won, I did a video. And I was reminding people, look, I supported Zoran Mamdani. You support Zoran Mamdani. We did. We got him elected. Great. Now he's got to govern. Now he has to govern. And he has enemies. This is why I am Team Democrat. This is why I encourage people to wear the damn jersey. That's the kind of thing that gets us through these situations. Let me explain what's going on. Let me explain what's going on. There is on Blue Sky a group of they're pretend leftists. They are. Really what they are is just anti-democratic party bots. They are. And I've told you over and over again how important narratives are. You know what? We're going to hold off on that. I don't want to confuse the two. We'll just stick with Zoran Mamdani. I won't conflate the two. I'll do them as two separate stories. I was going to do them because they're kind of related. When Zoran Mamdani was running, that fringe on Blue Sky was very much in support of him. Very much in support of him. But I got to tell you, a lot of those the fringes, their objectives are not good. There's a lot of bigotry, a lot of anti-Semitism, a lot of hate, and just a lot of people that are, you do everything I want or else. There's a lot of that on Blue Sky. There is. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff on Blue Sky. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just taking a giant dump on Blue Sky. I'm not. But there is this pocket fringe that is an anti-democrat, just a really bad segment. And I warned people. I sat down and I said, look, we're going to have to team up here. And by team up, I mean like Zoran Mamdani's a Democrat. He's our guy. We got to back him because now he's got to govern. And since he's got to govern, he's going to do things that doesn't make everybody happy. Because the skills to run for office and the skills to govern are two different skill sets to do two different jobs. You know, the Republicans conflate the two. They're always running for office. They're not governing. That's why I tell you, they're not a governing party. Nothing they do is about governing. That's why we end up with the stupid bullshit like the Kansas ID law and shit like that, because they're not governing. Democrats don't do that. Democrats govern. And Zoran Mamdani has stepped into that role. And oh my God, it started. Everything I warned you about has started. I told you, he's got enemies on the right. The Republicans want to take over New York City. They do. They are banging away on Zoran Mamdani every day, every single day. NYPD's leadership And a lot of NYPD officers, they're that right-wing fringe, man. They are. They are. So he's in these battles all the time. And I warn people, he's not going to be able to do everything that he wants to do. He's going to fight for things and he's going to lose sometimes. We've got to back him anyways. We got to be ride or die, baby. We got to be ride or die. Because by doing that, we actually clear the way for them to get those things done. You know, by being ride or die, we clear the way for them. We're the blockers out there that give them room. Well, a lot of those activists lost their damn minds when this happened. One second. This is Jessica Tisch. Jessica Tisch was the acting police, was the police commissioner when Zohran Mamdani won his election. Now, the activists, they wanted her gone, man. They wanted her hung. They wanted her out. And on top of it, you've got, and you can imagine how this is playing on Blue Sky, because Jessica Tisch is not only like right-wing super law and order kind of person, but no, she's also the heir to the Tisch fortune. Her family's worth about $10 billion. They're the Lowe's Corporation. CNA Financial, Boardwalk Pipelines, Lowe's Hotels, Altium Packaging. You get where I'm going with this. She is the epitome of what they call the corporate dim, which is making people over on Blue Sky lose their damn minds. It was a political calculation. You pick your fights. You pick your fights. If you start every fight all the time, you're going to lose way more than you win. You pick your battles and you win that battle. That's what Mamdani did. When he kept Jessica Tisch on, they lost their mind and turned on him. So now this is what's happening. This is what's happening. Not only do you have the far right that are coming after him for things like this. Have y'all heard about Snowballgate? Yeah. So a big snowball fight breaks out in Washington Park. People are having a good time. The cops show up. Some of the people started throwing snowballs at some of the cops. Well, NYPD was like, that's disrespecting the uniform. And they started arresting people, charging people with assault. Well, those charges got dropped. Because Zohran Mamdani came out and said, just a snowball fight. Jessica Tisch came out and she's like, you will respect the NYPD officers. This was a crime. This was assault. We're going all the way on this. And Zohran Mamdani said, nah, it's just a snowball fight. Sure, it was stupid, but we got bigger fish to fry, important things to work on. NYPD union membership. I don't know if you know this, but the guy that runs the NYPD union is fucking insane. He is just insane. This is just everyday news. Every single day. Zohran Mamdani hates the cops. Zoran Mamdani doesn't back the cops. Zoran Mamdani backs the criminals. On top of which, you've got people bailing on him. You know, the fair weather friends that are like, oh no, Jessica Tisch is Jewish. And boy, they say some really anti-Semitic shit. I don't encourage you to go get involved in that section of social media, but trust me, the fact that, as they call her, the Jew was able to keep her job, they've abandoned Zoran Mamdani. So what do you think he's going to be able to get done? You got Andrew Cuomo out there like a zombie, skulking around, shivving Mamdani every chance he gets. You've got the Republicans out there. That, of course, are trying to shiv him at every turn with the support of the NYPD leadership. Who does Zoran Mamdani got? Fucking me. Trying to get everybody I can to be ride or die. Block for the man. Give him room so that he can get some of his shit done. Unyielding support. That's what we need to be. Is he perfect? Nope. Never was going to be. But that's what I mean. That's what I push for. That's what I tell people. This is why I do this. Because it's going to give Zoran Mamdani the opportunity to do some of the things that he wants to do. To make, right now they're talking, he's meeting with Mango Mussolini. He's rubbing with whoever he can rub with, trying to get some more housing built to bring down the cost of apartments in New York. Get some more high rises built. He can't get that done if we don't have his back. If he looks weak, he's done. He is done. But you've got people, a whole segment of people that, remember I tell you, narratives are everything? Narratives are everything in politics. There's a narrative. Hakeem Jeffries is terrible. Chuck Schumer is terrible. They take that AIPAC money. They're terrible. They got to go. So the narrative is Hakeem Jeffries is bad. He takes money from people we don't like. That opens up an avenue for the grifters. Now, there are a group of grifters on Blue Sky that this is all they push. That's all they push. Then there's a group of people on Blue Sky that are anti-democratic. They're anti-democratic. They are. Let me tell you what the story should be. The DCCC, going on the momentum that we Democrats have had, the work that you've done, the wind being on our back, just had one of its best fundraising months ever. In January, they raised $10 million. Woo! The fight is on, right? You remember the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee? This is about, the war chest in which Democrats are going to fight in the midterms. Good story, right? Good story. But the anti-Democrat people don't want that to be the story. So they pushed this. They pushed this narrative out there instead. DCCC rakes in millions from Palantir lobbyists as protests start to target companies' eye surveillance tools. Folks, this story from Reed Sludge is bullshit, and I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna break it down for you. But it fits the narrative, right? It fits the narrative. Hakeem Jeffries takes money from people we don't like. Fuck that guy. When the story should be the DCCC had the best month ever. We've got momentum. We're moving. You've got a whole segment of people on Blue Sky that want that negative narrative. They want that negative story. So that's what they're spreading everywhere. That's what they're pushing. They want to believe that. You know, a lot of it's about AIPAC. You know, AIPAC was 3% of the money that Hakeem Jeffries brought in. 3%. 3%. The other 97% was people that you know and agree with. AIPAC was 3%, but that's all anybody talks about. AIPAC. These are people that, just like the Republicans with their bigotry, they scratch that itch with the bigots. Doing the same, Republican bots are doing the same thing on the left. They're doing the exact same thing on the left. They found a spot to itch, to scratch, a narrative that's working, and man, they're running with it. Let me show you what they've done. This is that article. I'm going to show it to you. DCCC rakes in millions from Palantir lobbyists. Now, I want you to look at how that's worded. DCCC rakes in millions from Palantir lobbyists. What does that tell you? Palantir, their lobbyists, their personal lobbyists, paid the DCCC millions. Right? That's not what happened. We're going to tear it apart. If you go down the story, you see they start talking about, and again, the verbiage, you know, again, the bipartisan lobbying firm Invariant was paid $560,000 last year by Palantir, making the Peter Thiel co-founded data analytics and artificial intelligence company its third largest client. Its lobbyists steered more than $1.8 million to the DCCC. See, this is what they did. They took all of the money from lobbying firms, all of it, all the lobbying done, and they called it Palantir money because Palantir happens to contract with some of them. Let me show you how this shakes out. And no, it wasn't just last month like they're inferring, because the headline you're seeing on social media is 38% of the money that the DCCC took in last month came from Palantir lobbyists. And that is a complete lie. You know why? Because this is Invariant. I want to introduce you to Invariant LLC. They're a lobbying firm. They're a lobbying firm with a great reputation. But no, they're not Palantir. They're not Palantir's lobbyists. They're just a lobbying company that Palantir hires. Let me show you. Invariant is very open about what they do. Invariant is very open about what they do. These are their clients. They list their clients. There's over 200 of them. And they're companies that you know, companies that you like, Airbus, you know, American Beverage, Apple, Aramark. So let's cut. These are in alphabetical order. Bayer Aspirin, you know, Bayer AG, that's a customer. Broadcom, Yeah, you've heard of these Campbell soup. Also, they took all of this money over a year. This is an annual disclosure. Over a year, they added that money up to come up with this $2.9 million from Palantir's lobbyists. No, this is not Palantir's lobbyists. Let's go to the P's. Let's look at Palantir. Let's go to the P's. Not only is this not Palantir's lobbyists, P. We finally made it to the P's. Osmo Labs. There you go. Pacific Steel Group. Palantir Technologies. There you go. There it is. $500,000. Over a year, and that's not all money going to the DCCC. Do you follow me? Because Invariant doesn't just lobby the DCCC. Invariant doesn't just lobby the DCCC. So not only are they not just representing Palantir, this article takes this lump sum of money, it accredits it all to Palantir, and then infers that it all went to the DCCC. That didn't happen. That did not happen. But you've got these people on Blue Sky particularly that want this to be true. They want it to be true. They want this either because they're anti-Semitic, or they've got a separate agenda, or they're just on, or they're the grifters that I keep telling you about that are out there, that are clickbait grifters that don't really give a shit about. They pretend to be part of the Democratic movement, but they don't really give a shit. They're more than happy to let the bots come out and push shit like this so that they can get free clicks on their platform. All of that is going on. Folks, look, Invariant, Poet LLC, renewable energy, PepsiCo. I mean, company after company after company is in this money. It is in, you know what I'm saying? It is not all going to the DCCC, and it is not all Palantir. Let me show you what let me show you what Poet LLC is. Let me show you what Poet LLC is. You've probably never heard of them. It's because they don't really deal with you. This is Poet LLC. It's a biofuels company. It's a green energy company. They actually gave more money to Invariant than Palantir did. And this was actually money that went to the Democratic Party and DCCC. See, it didn't just go to the DCCC. This lobbying firm lobbies individuals. They lobby, you get what I'm saying? This money gets spread around, but this is Poet. They actually put more money into the kiln than Palantir did. They're a biofuels company. You know, our farmers that are getting hurt so bad right now? Our farmers that are getting, yes, exactly. Not only is it not just all going to the DCCC, it's also being split up between the parties. This is a lobbying firm. But this disingenuous article infers that all that money that's in this kitty over the last year was kind of all Palantir money because they call them Palantir's lobbying firm. No, this is just a lobbying firm that Palantir happens to do business with. It's not Palantir's. They've been around forever. They've been around longer than Palantir has. But you've got really good causes in that pile too, like this. I mean, you want this, right? You want biofuels? Less oil? Less drill, baby, drill? I mean, this is stuff you want, right? You see what I'm saying? How disingenuous everything they're inferring is? But oh man, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. They are really pushing it. They are really. I want you to look at the news articles. I want you to look at the news articles. This is what they should be. Democrats outpace Republicans in fundraising. Democrats outpace Republicans in fundraising for key U.S. For key U.S. House races. DCCC, here's that Reed Sludge article. DCCC rakes in millions from Palantir lobbyists. Okay, keep going. DCCC raises over $9 million in January. They ended up being right at $10 million. You got just article after article talking about the DCCC kicked Republicans' dicks in. Man, we got momentum. Woo! We're doing it. You're doing it. This is the work that you're putting in, the support that you're putting out. You're getting it done. We're fighting. We're getting it done. That should be the article, man. Get fired up. Go to Blue Sky. That's not the message. Vote suppression. Anti-Democratic Party. Just reeking everywhere. The Republican-owned bots and information sphere is blasting shit out. What should be a win, they're controlling the narrative. They're controlling the narrative, and you've got people with biases that are supposed to be on our side that are going to find their fucking reason not to vote, and we need to shut them down. We do. Those pretend left-wing grifters that are out there that do nothing but shit on the Democratic Party, block them. Don't accept these bullshit narratives. Folks, we have 7 months to get this done. 7 months to win. To win big enough that we shut this insanity down. I mean, think about Shah Alem and what happened to that man. If we do not dominate in the midterms, that is who we are. And you have these people that are either grifters or they're just haters or they're Republican bots or that are doing nothing but trying to shit all over Democratic momentum. So what I'm going to tell you is the big story is we killed it. We absolutely killed it in January. All of that momentum, all those electoral wins that you've been seeing happening, the shifts in voting, all of that is not, it is coming out in fundraising. We're going to be able to punch away with the Republicans in the midterms because of this. Now they want to pretty much, they want to kick us in the cooter there. They want to make, that's the Republican strategy, to run at our strengths, attack us on our strengths. Our fundraising is phenomenal right now, and they're going to try to attack us using fundraising. They are. Because they spent the last year setting that narrative up on social media. You and I, we're the people that understand politics. We understand the big picture. We're the ones that have to grab these bullshit narratives in their infancy and fuck them, drown them in the bathtub. Go read that article and look at the deceptive verbiage in it and then go over to Blue Sky and take a look at what's being spread over there and start kicking these people in the cooter and grab control of that narrative. We have to do it. We absolutely have to do it. Tiger Butterfly, glad to always see you. Posted on Instagram about whitewashing history and racism. I had a MAGA comment back that all of that was because of Jews. Yeah, there is a lot. You know, look, Netanyahu's a fucking psychopath. You know, I am not all in on, do I think Israel needs to be limited? Yes. Do we need to back off of our support for Israel? Yes. But is there a left wing just like there's us here in the United States? We're not all MAGA. We're not all Trump. We're out here fighting our asses off. But you've got people that are just straight up bigots that just want to see Israel end. And I can't go along with that. I can't. Jenny, wonder what would have happened if the campus police person had called NYPD. I worry about police versus ICE confrontations. Yep. But that's exactly what needs to happen. Slap your mama. Thank you for being here. But you know what? The police in that situation, because they were lying, they have no morals. They're not going to do what's right by the law. ICE is not going to do what's right by the law. They're just going to lie. McBasters, this is what happens when folks don't understand what never again means. Yep, brother. Yep. Dave Barone, thank you for being here. I mean, come on. Let's keep Mamdani's back. Let's support our Democratic Party. Yes, primaries, 100%. That's what this whole pin is about. We got some great primaries going on. But at the end of it, we're still Democrats. We wear the jersey. Mr. Newton, deadly preventable infectious illnesses are coming back due to anti-vaxxers. Yep. If you want your kids or immune compromised to not expire, you've got to keep these dangerous people out of government. We're trying, brother. We are trying. Mamdani is a proper Canadian in American society. Yeah, brother. I hear you. I like Canadians. I really do. If you ever get a chance to go up to Canada, do it. Go to Niagara. But go to the Canadian side and just spend some time. Take a look at the parks. They're freaking spotless. Just the way they conduct it. I love Canadians. Skeet Sayre, the Bible got it right. The love of money is the root of all evil. Absolutely. Kushat, thank you for being here. Thanks for supporting the show. Omniscient Sphinx, that super carrier learned what happens when they stop at Taco Bell. You know what? I'm going to admit something. I love Taco Bell. I really do, man. I really do. Give me a Crunchwrap Supreme and just. It's one of the things I got to avoid. You know, I've been working out and changing. Been hitting it. I sit here while I'm prepping for the show and I do dumbbell curls. That's what I do. JDJ 1898 Jade. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here to support the show. Skeet Sayre, we are the resistance. The other side is no option. Amen. De La Garza, thank you. Zoran got snow and ice deported from New York. Yep. We need to keep the momentum up, folks. Don't let the grifters, don't let the right-wing bots slow us down. Skeet Sayre, what we need to understand is that social media is not a bellwether for society. That is what they want us to believe. Absolutely. These people, and I'm telling you, I love a lot about Blue Sky. The energy, the excitement, I love a lot about Blue Sky. There is a lot to like there, but there is a real confusion with this far left fringe. They think they're the Democratic base. And really, they're people that just find an excuse not to vote. They end up voting for Jill fucking Stein. And they believe that they're the Democratic base so that I should be listening to them. Oh, fuck no. Fuck that noise. Skeet Sayre, what we need to understand is that social media is not a bellwether for society. Yeah, amen, brother. Amen. Metal Rabbit, teach politics. Sausage and politics, teach. Palantir is pure evil, though. I agree with you. I do. I do. Beware of blue bots. They want us to be like them. Amen. Georgia 14th special election, early voting happening now. Get out and support Sean Harris and send a clear message to Trump about the GOP. Vote blue. Look, if you ever decide to try to do what I'm doing, I want to give you a little inside baseball. All the platforms are not the same. They're all actually very different. Substack is very intelligent. By the way, I've actually started to work with my Substack. I'm actively working on Substack now. I've treated it like a redheaded. I treated it like my LinkedIn page I never touch. That's next. I'll be working on LinkedIn next. Right now I'm focusing on getting Substack up and rolling. But Blue Sky, very different people than what you see on Threads. There is a lot of QAnon level bullshit that people just absolutely love and push on Blue Sky. Really, I mean, like just made up shit. If it fits their narrative and how they feel, they run with it, man. A lot of it, not all of Blue Sky. I'm saying there's like this fringe that does that. But these same things that get posted there on like Threads, and Threads, man, is like a freaking hammer. You post something that's bullshit on Threads, and you will get 50 people in that thread telling you what a dumbass you are and why it's fake. Yeah, you cannot sell shit on Threads. Facebook, I'm probably gonna. I shouldn't. I love Facebook. I love Facebook. The community on Facebook, those are my people, man. Those people get it. 100% fired up. 100%. These are people my age. But yeah, Jeff Shuler, Georgia 14th special election, early voting happening now. Get out and support Sean Harris. Send a clear message to Trump and the GOP. Vote blue. Christie, as always, Dems are held to impossible standards and Republicans held to zero standards. Controlling the narrative is key. Yep. Asborn Newton, Mr. Newton. Not to curse in church, but taking 3% APAC, is it worth it? When we know it gives the fringes, useful idiots ammunition to hurt the Democrats, leading fools to vote third party. Help me understand. I will. I'll be glad to help you understand. A year ago, there was nothing wrong with APAC money. Not politically, there wasn't. Things change. Do I think that they're going to be taking that APAC money next year? This year? No. In fact, you've got James Tallarico. One of his key moments in his speech is he very much stresses, I take no APAC money. Things change. So when you go look, and this is what I say, this is why I say they're disingenuous. They'll go to Open Secrets and they'll look at Hakeem Jeffries' last year and the money he took last year. You're talking about, think about how things have changed over a year. I mean, things change. So yeah, is it worth it next year to take APAC money? No, it's not. It's just not that much money. It's not game changing. They don't dominate. That's the other thing, is there's this narrative that if somebody took APAC money last year, that somehow APAC sets their entire agenda. What about the 97% that gave, 97% of the money? I think that they would have a say in all of this. I don't think that APAC's little pittance is controlling shit. It's just not. But that's not the narrative that's out there. They really want it to be, because they found bigotry is a hell of a drug, man. It really is. It really is. But yeah, you get what I'm saying? I agree with you. It's not worth it. But you can't put the shit back in the horse. You just can't. Metal Rabbit, we can't block our way to victory. Teach. That's why these narratives that they're pushing now, trying to keep it fresh, they're still doing it. That's what they're saying. They're still doing it because they can never let it become that was then, this is now. They can't let that happen between now and the midterms. You get the strategy there? Metal Rabbit, we can't block our way to victory. Teach. Yep. Miguel Larson, tell us, thank you for being here, brother, all the time. I appreciate you. Hey, Paul, I only use Blue Sky. Are you saying that the narrative does not exist and on the other platforms? No, it's not the same on the other platforms. It's really different. Hey, Paul, I only use, are you saying that this narrative does not exist on other platforms? Guess you said it twice, brother. No, it's not the same. It's not the same. They still try on other platforms. They do. But let's say like Blue Sky. And I told you, the majority of Blue Sky is great. It's fucking great. This much of it is great. But this much of it is that bullshit anti-democratic narrative. If you go to Threads, it's about this much. It's still there, but it's not as prevalent and it gets challenged a lot more. If you go to Facebook, it's this much and you will get fucking scorched. You put that shit out there, go read the comments, man. Boom, boom, boom. It's a bunch of old timers like me. Let me tell you a thing or two, Blue. You know, I mean, it is. The platforms are very different. It doesn't mean that those narratives don't exist on other platforms. They just don't have fertile ground. Blue Sky is younger. That's why I love it so much. It's a younger crowd. And with that youth and exuberance comes some inexperience and some different viewpoints. And yeah, they're just going to be more prone to this stuff. They just are. Scott, $23. You'll always keep me and my family informed. Thank you. Keep up the fight. No, thank you. I appreciate you. Google is deleting inactive accounts. Good. A lot of those inactive accounts end up being bots. Too bad Facebook was created by Epstein. That's the story I haven't heard. That's one I haven't heard yet. You have to email me with that one. Chandra Patton, Georgia residents, make sure your Georgia My Voter page info is up to date. Amen. We have to. You have to stay on top of that voter registration, and we have got to get out and vote. We can't allow these negative narratives to take hold. Asborn Newton, thanks, Texas Paul. You're a great teacher. That's why I'm here. You know what? There's another one. I talked about it in the last show, and I'll wrap it up. I know it's been a long show. We're going to go 2.5 hours this show. I do apologize. There's another one. There's an old donation from when James Tallarico was running for Congress from Miriam Adelson. That Miriam Adelson. The Republican donor, Miriam Adelson. It's not from Miriam Adelson, it's from Sands PAC. Her Sands PAC has been active here in Texas politics forever. And what they do is they fight casino laws. Anytime somebody says, hey, we could get some gambling revenue, I'll be honest with you, I'm against casinos. I am. I just see too many people get hurt on the gambling. I'm even against the lottery. I don't like the lottery. I see so many people just get money sucked out of it that they don't have to give. They don't have gambling money. I know I shouldn't be trying to think for people. I get that. I don't think casinos are a great idea. The reason casinos exist is because you lose money there. It just is what it is. Too many people get hurt. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's where I'm at right now. So I would align with Sands PAC. here in Texas. That's what they do. That whole PAC's existence has been about keeping casinos from blossoming. They gave a donation to Tallarico. He's an anti-casino. He's a religious dude. He's anti-casino for religious reasons. They're spinning it now as though he just took that money yesterday, which isn't true. And that because he did take that money, the Republicans own him, which again is not even close to true. Now, if you're Jasmine Crockett or a Jasmine Crockett supporter, this is going to be like really good for you. You're going to love to hear that. You're going to love to hear that. You know what I mean? Because, man, politics is brawling, man. But if you're a Tallarico supporter, it's going to piss you off, man. It's going to piss you off. And this is the kind of thing that right here, brother, after this election, if Crockett wins, my Tallarico people, no sour grapes. No, oh, they played dirty. Oh, they lied about our guy. None of that. It's good fight. Let's go get it done. And if Tallarico wins, none of that shit that's being spread around about, oh, they didn't like Jasmine. It was bigotry that kept Jasmine out of it, this, that, and the other. No, it's going to be good fight. Now let's go get it done. That's what being ride or die is all about. We have two great candidates. We're blessed with great candidates. Either way we win. We've got two great candidates. The only way we lose is if we're butthurt afterwards, and we can't do that. We cannot do that. That is not who we are. Mr. Newton, I saw that. She don't want the competition. Hey, man, politics is a blood sport. It is. Big Gizmo, thank you. No, thank you. Pavlon 01, let's focus on defeating MAGA, keep our heads out of the soup, and get back to the struggle. That's the last word, my people. That's the last word. I hope you found what we've talked about today useful. I am sorry we went so long. I appreciate you for hanging out. On that note, enjoy some Texas cities. Wait, what? One more thing. I do want to say thank you. There have been a couple people that have given a couple large donations through PayPal. I am truly grateful. It doesn't show up anywhere. I can't give you recognition in the show. There's nothing I can pull up. I see you. I hope you got the email of thanks. I'm truly grateful. Cannot do this. I just can't. I couldn't afford to without you people. I am truly grateful. I appreciate you. On that note, enjoy some Texas cities at night.